There was tension at the Sadc summit as Ramaphosa publicly embarrasses Samia Suluhu. Right. You still remember, family, that the other day I was saying that when Vakaita Sana Ramaphosa, these are the people that we know. Vakanga is very, very fast to run and endorse Mashem elections, like what we saw happening in Zimbabwe with Mnangagwa's case in 2023, what we saw happening also in Mozambique, where he was the very first guy to land when Mozambique was on fire. But this time around, things are a little bit different. Ramaphosa did not go. He did not even send his deputy, like what we saw Shitikanana Mnangagwa vakasenda General Chiwenga. But Ramaphosa did not even send his deputy. And he has not sent any congratulatory message or in his person. So it's quite interesting that following what happened in Madagascar, where the people of Madagascar removed that dictator, and then Madagascar apparently had taken over the Sadc chairmanship. So Sadc chairmanship remained vacant. Then they decided to do some damage control on this toothless bulldog, which is just a sinking ship. Mnangagwa and Ramaphosa are trying to save a sinking ship. The Sadc has lost integrity. Sadc has lost its soul, its worthiness. It's lost its soul, and there is nothing really that you can do. So Ramaphosa has so much problems in his own country right now as we speak. He has so much problems because we are looking at the Mdlanga Commission. Is it Mdlanga Commission? Yana General Mkwananzi Irkunetsa, and one by one, big names are being dropped in that commission, and it's like the ladder is climbing, going higher and higher and higher, and it's really a big chaos that is happening. Madlanga, yes, thank you so much, Madlanga Commission. So it's really beginning to be very scary because names that are now being dropped there are quite shocking, and it seems like more is yet to come. So Ramaphosa also, remember, is in a unity government. He does not have 100% power, and for him to stand up and support Samia, that could be a big problem. Look at the pressure that also Ramaphosa has been going under, especially South Africa, with Donald Trump and so on. Remember, this G20 that just took place, no official of the Trump administration attended. Trump said America is not going to attend any G20 meetings until Ramaphosa and South Africa are kicked out of the G20 countries. So can you see that these are all pressures that are just mounting and mounting on him? And for him now to stand with Samia, Pakaipa, right? So he did not endorse, number one, and he did not also acknowledge Samia and congratulate Samia like what he did with the others during that, that Sadc, meeting where they were just trying to do some damage control. So it's really very funny that, like what I was saying, that African presidents, the problem is, especially in Southern Africa, some, they want to hide behind their silence that, no, I didn't congratulate Samia myself. No, we don't want silence. We want them to speak. We want them to say something, right? They must say something. They must not just keep quiet. Say something. We want to hear you. What do you have to say? So it's quite very funny, but they know what happened in Tanzania. So courtesy of Plug TV, we acknowledge Plug TV for this video.
How deep must a leader fall before their neighbors act like they don't exist? Now that's the uncomfortable question hovering over Tanzania, and it's President Samia Suluhu Hassan, after she and her country were effectively erased from Sadc summit this week by President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Excellency Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and outgoing chairperson of Sadc, Your Excellency President Professor Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi and chairperson of the Sadc organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation. Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini.
During a virtual meeting chaired by South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, one that marked South Africa's handover as interim Sadc chair after Madagascar's leadership collapsed into crisis, One absence stood out. Suluhu's government, already battered by accusations of deadly post-elections crackdown, was nowhere in Ramaphosa's congratulatory remarks. He praised Malawi's Peter Mutharika for his recent election victory. He even sent condolences to Madagascar's citizens following its military unrest. But when it came to Tanzania, Ramaphosa's silence spoke louder than any diplomatic nicety could.
Right. So you see, that's exactly what happened. Ramaphosa left out Samia. He did not mention Samia when he acknowledged all the presidents, and then, of course, those that have just been re-elected or elected. When he acknowledged them again, he did not mention Samia. This is just a big sign. It's a big sign. You know, there's one thing about South Africa. I've said this thing many times in many different presentations. South Africa remains a key to not only to Southern Africa but also to Africa itself. South Africa and Nigeria, their voices are so big in Africa, and even the international community, when they want to deal with Africa or deal with Southern Africa for that matter, the voice of South Africa is always listened to. I've always given example at Thabo Mbeki, but when the Security Council of the United Nations at that point wanted to act against Mugabe, South Africa spoke and said, let us try and see how we can help out on the situation. That's what caused Thabo Mbeki to come and become that envoy who ended up favoring Mugabe in the GNU establishment. And then he denied that there was no problem in Zimbabwe, and then everything collapsed. So the voice of South Africa remains. That's why I'm sure that ZANU-PF, try by all means not to lose South Africa as a friend. They know that the voice of South Africa is very strong. So when you see South Africa now withholding their congratulatory messages and not wanting to associate with individual like Samia, this is just a big sign that there's still a lot of trouble for Samia, right? A lot of trouble. Because in the event that something may need to be done against Samia's regime, South Africa will not throw their weight behind her. And that is a big challenge. So, it's not over yet. So Samia might think that she has escaped, but I still think that there is still quite a lot of mountains to climb, especially in the existence of a regime, following what happened there in terms of human rights abuses and the murders, extrajudicial killings that have happened in Tanzania. So this is the situation. So there was really a strong tension there at that Sadc meeting when Ramaphosa deliberately avoided talking about Samia. And I don't know what Samia thinks and what other other countries think why the interim chairman of Sadc, remember South Africa has taken over as interim leader of Sadc, chairperson. So if the chairperson of Sadc himself has not congratulated Samia, what message is he sending out there? So we will continue to be watching to see exactly what is noguma kupe. Asazi ukuthi kuzaphetha ngani. Kodwa ngasikhangele la sibona ukuthi uRamaphosa ukuthi avoid ukukhuluma ngoSamia vele kucho something, right? I message nje ngokwayo on its own etshengisa ukuthi into azimanga kuhle for Samia. And like I'm saying ukuthi kusesele ndaba phambili lapho esiya khona sifuna ukubona ukuthi kuzaphetha ngani, whether uSamia is going to survive this or not. But of course, as the intercessors, we keep praying and praying. We know that greater things are going to come and happen, and justice for the people of Tanzania is definitely coming. Let us meet once again in the upcoming show. Shalom and shalom.